Hello, everyone. This is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and you're listening to the Author's Corner, Meet the Author. And I'm Cece Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building. And what I do is connect you with these awesome individuals that really help embrace your life, move you through to the place where you want to be. It's all really about the choices of what we take in life and where we want our lives to be, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about. Where do we want to travel to? We've got the traveling expert here with us today. I am just so excited. I'm going to bring her forward because she is so unique in her own right. Let me bring her forward here. We have with us today, bumping down the highways, we have elite guest Jenni Raney Edwards. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's great having you. You have this most awesome book, which is called Bumping Down the Highways. And you've actually embraced the RV adventure life, haven't you?
Oh, I have. I absolutely love it. And so I just noticed, just so people don't get it wrong, the book is actually called Bumping Down Highways. No "the" in it.
Okay.
But they can find that when they look at the website.
Okay.
I absolutely love this life. Absolutely love RV living, the community that I found. It's a group of people that don't care what your religious beliefs are or your political affiliations are, what your job is, how much money you make. All they care about is spending time with you, hearing my story, sharing their stories, and helping each other. We eat together, we spend time together. It's been really amazing.
Well, I think it's an exciting opportunity to, like you said, meet people, experience life, not worried so much about, the hustle bustle and all that kind of stuff. So tell us a little bit, how did you get into this? Because I know you were a very successful business person yourself at the beginning of this career.
So it's been now almost 5 years ago. And I had a little bit of a challenge with a condo that I owned, and I had to get out of the condo. I was used to traveling by plane, places you got to by airplane. I was used to 5-star dining and 1,000 thread count sheets in big hotels. And in this trip, I needed to take my dogs across the country, and I had to stay in places that were a little bit of a shock to my system in the beginning. I stayed in these little camper cabins and places where there wasn't a bathroom inside, there was no running water, you had to use a bathhouse. And I thought that I would rush across the country. I figured out I could do it in 4 days. Anybody can do anything short term, right? And so I took off across the country, and after about day one, I slowed down. I fell in love with the people I met, the sights, the simplicity, the fact that it didn't matter if I had makeup on or not, or how I was dressed, and finding that community of people that didn't care what my background was. And that little trip ended up taking me a couple of months. And when I came home, I bought my first little camper, and then I walked away from everything. I sold both homes. I sold everything, and have now been through 47 states.
Wow, so exciting. I tell you what, it's I look at you here, I'm in the stuffio, office. And you're I got your baseball cap on and you're enjoying life and you're out in the sunshine. And I look at our lives and think about where we truly, want to be. And so my mom passed away at age 56. And my father always says, if I had known that her life was going to be so short, we would have done a lot more things. And so we can't always wait, because maybe the time isn't going to be there for us. So we have to experience life to the fullest. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're really doing it. Yeah.
So when I was in corporate America, people thought that my life was perfect. I had it all. I had the big house, I had the beach condo, I had the convertible Lexus, I had the 47 little black dresses and the Prada heels. It looked like I was living the American dream. It looked like I had found that success that we all chase, but it didn't feel like it. I lost dear friends that died too young, like your mom,
Hmm.
and people that I worked with that died way too young. And I listened to people say, someday I am gonna X. And I decided today was my someday. I wasn't gonna wait. I was 47 when I walked away, and I'm living the life people only dream of.
Right. And those out there listening, just want to share with you that she told me that she traded in her other RV. She had a Class A 40-foot. She traded it in because it had too many miles on it because she had seen so many states. Can you imagine? And now she's got a new one, and she's traveling now and finishing up the tours that you want to do. And that's amazing. So tell us a little bit about what inspired you to write the book. I mean, you're enjoying your life so much. Why did you decide that you wanted to share that with other people?
Actually, I people kept saying, so I have to back up just a little bit. When I first left on my own, everyone, all my friends and family, they totally flipped out. They said I couldn't or I shouldn't do it. When they finally realized I was doing it anyway, everybody wanted me to call them every night and tell them where I was, that I was okay. But if I did that, I'd never see anything. So I compromised and said I would write posts on Facebook at the end of every day. It would be a story about my day. And those grew and grew. People started saying you should write a book. Well, I didn't want to write a book. I wasn't an author, and besides, I'd have to share all the stupid crap I did, all the mistakes I made in the process, and so I kept saying no. Um, One day I had this conversation with the universe. Hey God, this is me, Jenny, and I love this. I'm enjoying this opportunity, but I'm going to run out of money. What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? And I got nothing. I wish that there was a big boom or a big answer or something, but nothing. And that night I had a dream. And in the dream, I just heard a bunch of voices, write the book, write the book. And I ignored it because I wasn't an author. But the dream came back night after night after night. And finally, I got mad in the dream and yelled, I don't know how to write a book. And one voice said, you didn't know how to RV either, but you did it anyway. And when that happened, I thought, okay, I got it. I'm listening. And the next day, when I got up in front of my computer to post my Facebook post, my little story, there was an ad on there, and it said, free webinar today at 2 p.m., limited space, bestseller blueprint. And I thought, okay, now I'm really listening. Well, that was Jack Canfield's program. And when I got to talk to Jack and to some of the members of his team, they said, you should write the book. It was one of the scariest things that I ever did. It was beyond being afraid of flying down a mountain too fast, because literally I was going to have to share my story. I was going to have to share my fears and the things I did wrong. But you know what? I decided that maybe it might help someone. Maybe it might inspire someone to do something. And today I get people who look me up and they find me to tell me how my story inspired them. So I'm really glad I did it.
Yes, I can definitely see that because it's amazing to be able to walk in your dream. And so often I just had another host on just prior to this show, and we were talking about that. It's really finding your passion and really living that passion out, and that's
Absolutely.
that's exactly what you're doing now. And so, but the beauty of your passion is that you're embracing other people and you're taking us along the way, which is great because those that can't experience what you're experiencing, we get to live through you. And so it's pretty cool. So you get the mess ups, right, on the things that you do along the way. We just get to experience the fun and the joy. So that's not such a bad thing.
It's pretty awesome. Last night I was at there's a cafe here at Flamingo Lake RV Resort, and there was a local singer that had recently been on The Voice that was there singing, and people came up, because I haven't been here in a while, came up to me and hugged me. And one woman said, thank you for writing this book. Before, I was afraid to drive. My husband did it all. And she said, not only did it help me think that maybe I could do this, but it gave us tips and suggestions on things that we needed to do in the future. So it's all working out, and I'm really glad I wrote the book.
Oh, that's great. So where can we find your book at? Let's put up your information here too, so they have that.
So you can go to my website, bumpingdownhighways.com, and there you can look at all of the locations. It's available. You can click on any of the icons for the links. But as usual, it's all bookstores. You can get it. Amazon is the easiest sometimes. It's even available at Walmart, Target, those kinds of places. A lot of times, each local store, though, chooses whether they carry it. So it may or may not be on the shelves, but you can get it through them online.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to make sure we have that. We'll also post that a couple times during the show so you guys can have it. Make sure that you get it. But you also, you do some really great things because you create a lot of awareness, like places to go, things to see. So tell us a little bit about that, how you're broadening more into sharing those things online with us.
So on my website, I have a blog, and when I'm traveling, I journal everything. I write about everything. And so on my website, I also in the blog area share great places to see, some of my favorite places, as well as products that I find. And I'm not paid by those people to share that information, but it's things that I find that are really helpful and that I really love. I share those things. I share those on the blog, and then I share them on my Facebook and my Instagram posts as well.
Well, we need to petition someone to get them to start paying you for some of this advertisement that you do, because it really is insightful and it's helpful to those that are out there traveling to know that that you went somewhere and that you had a good experience, because it's really great information to be able to share that. So tell us a little bit about your adventures. Like, what is the best state that you've been in? That you kind of enjoyed so much? I mean, all our states are great.
You're going to see me wave because I can't ignore people. People see me and they walk by and they wave, so I'll wave at y'all too.
Yeah.
So states, my favorite states, that's a tough one because there are different states that are my favorites for different reasons. I know that the biggest surprise was when I went to Idaho. I had no idea there was so much to see in Idaho. And I found this, I say little waterfall. It wasn't. It was a massive waterfall, but it was in this little place. It was called Shoshone Falls. And it rivals Niagara. It's beautiful, but it's not a touristy place, so there aren't a lot of people. So it was beautiful there. I love going out west and seeing the mountains, but then I love the East Coast. I took a trip from Florida to Maine a couple of years ago, all the way up the coast. And I would say Niantic, Connecticut was really cool. It was just a really pretty little place. Mystic Pizza is in Mystic, Connecticut, right outside of Niantic, and I spent some time there. Florida is always what I call home. Tennessee is gorgeous. North Carolina, one of my favorite RV parks is in New Bern, North Carolina. So I don't know that I really have a favorite state anymore. I could have said that a long time ago, but there's so much to see everywhere you go.
Yeah, it's, we live in a wonderful place. I mean, the United States, there's just so much, and it's so vast. Each state is so different from each other. And then the people are just so different, I mean, their accents and the food and, so many different elements with regards to that. And so I was very fortunate when I was young. My family owned a camper company. My father made campers, a slide-in campers.
Oh, wow.
And so we traveled a lot when I was young. And so I kind of got the taste for that, that traveling and exploring different places. And so we did a lot of it, and I enjoyed it very much. It's a great place for families, to be able to experience and connect. Don't you think that being in an RV and connecting with those around you in the nature, don't you think that brings a different kind of element of individual I mean, it seems to make us more centered, more peaceful, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I talked a little bit about how the community of people that I met, how amazing they were, but there's a whole other piece. The average RVer is no longer a retiree. They're from age 35 to 55, and so many of these people are traveling with their families, with the children. And these children are amazing. They are more polite. They are more responsible, they're more intelligent, their noses aren't stuck in a device. They're helping their families with dinner, with chores, with setup. They're playing, they're laughing, they're eating together, and they're communicating. That's the really cool thing to see is families that are communicating. It's way different than what I saw when I lived in the big house in the neighborhood where you pulled in and you pushed the button for your garage door, you drove in and you pushed the button to close the door before you ever got out.
Mm-hmm.
People in the RV community, they all know their neighbors. They make it a point to know their neighbors. When I pull in, people walk over. When I was getting ready for the show, I had a couple of people that walked up to introduce themselves that just came in and wanted to know who I was and what I was doing and what did all the logos mean on my RV. They're not afraid to do that here, and I love that they approach me and I get to hear their stories.
Yeah, that's nice. I like the idea that you share people's stories, and it's just nice to be able to connect with other people in a very wholesome way. It truly is. It's beautiful what you're doing, and I just think it's great. Now, do your family, are they able to travel with you some when they're like during spring break or summers or anything like that?
So my children are grown. They're grown and have their own spouses and their own homes and their own jobs. And so my son actually followed me on a trip one time and slept in the RV because I was coming back to Florida and he wanted to come back and bring his dogs and still have his car. So he got to travel with me for a short distance, and that was fun. He fell in love with the RV life as well. My daughter has not traveled with me. She's been busy with her own home and her own life. I see her a lot though. I get to travel back and forth between the kids' homes. One's on one side of the country and the other is all the way on the other side. So I get to spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah, I thought maybe they would take their vacation and hang with you a little bit, and they might in the future. Who knows?
They might.
What kids do, you never know what they're going to do. So
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's really super. And so do you meet people that you kind of travel with? Like they say, oh, we're going to go up to here and do this. And do you go to that? Because I think there's clubs and things, aren't they, around?
There are clubs. I've never done that before, but what
Okay.
I will say that I do is it's a big thing. There are a lot of singles clubs that do it, and that's pretty awesome. I don't do very well with traveling and planning social activities by committee because what I love is the freedom to be able to say, oh my gosh, I love it here. I want to stay 2 more weeks. Or I really am not a fan of this place. I'd rather go somewhere else. So I love being able to do that. However, I have met people on the road that I keep up with, and I meet them in places. I'll never forget, I was making probably my first big cross-country road trip in the fifth wheel, and I got there, I got parked, I got set up, and I was sitting at the picnic table journaling, and all of a sudden there was a little dog in my lap that was not my dog. And a woman came around the corner of her RV and apologized, sat down and talked with me, and they invited me to dinner. So now that woman and her husband invited me on my way back east, to come and park my RV on their ranch in Missouri. At first, because I was new at this, there was no way I was going to go to someone's house I didn't know and park my RV. But I kept hearing from her and I kept talking to her, and I made the decision that I was going to go visit. So I spent several days on their ranch. I have seen on Facebook that they were in a town that I was in, and I reach out and say, hey, I'm going to be there too. And so we'll pick the same RV park. I was heading to Niagara Falls, and she saw that, and she said, "We're here now, but we'll stay a few more days so we can show you around." And I do that with people all the time. So I'm never alone. When I'm in places, a lot of times I'll stay in places I've been before, or there's a couple that I've never met, but really they interact with me on social media. They saw me driving my RV down the road and found me. And we're actually going to meet because they're going to be in St. Augustine, Florida when I'm there for a few days. So we're going to stay at the same RV park. So I don't travel with them, but we connect a lot.
Yeah, that I think that's a lot of fun. I truly think because you get to meet different people and you just make friends. And so I know you make friends on social media too, but it's nice when you actually are able to meet them in person and do some fun things with them. But yeah.
Oh, there's a whole lot of them that I have not met in person that I'm really excited to meet, that we talk to each other a lot. Mm-hmm. But then in the RV parks, it's interesting, the people that are next to me now here, they've been coming here for 15 years and somehow we never met. And I've been coming here for 5 years, but they knew a lot of the people that I knew. So there are over 2 million people that live full time in RVs, and another, I think it's now 13 million households that have RVs on top of that travel. And it's just it's a growing popular lifestyle.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break. And when we come back, let's talk a little bit about maybe the cost of RVing. What, okay. Like, if, comparing it to living, if we're thinking about retiring, is it a good idea to maybe think about doing an RV and traveling and stuff like that? So let's take our quick break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I also want to dig a little deeper in your book, because I think it's an exciting book and I want to make sure we share that with everyone. So we'll be right back, okay? So I am going to, you guys, I just want to thank you so much for watching us. We are on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more with Jenni about bumping down the highways on the RV, and it'll be quite an exciting road trip for sure. So if you'll just bear with me, we're going to try to do something a little bit different here, so hang on. So everyone, that was ABC Accounting. We want to thank them so much for allowing us to use their commercial. And I hope you guys are enjoying WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are on the Author's Corner, Meet the Author. And I'm so excited today because we have a terrific guest with us. And she travels all over the place. And I am so excited for her to be able to enjoy this wonderful lifestyle that she has. And so let's bring her forward here. Hey, Jenni, it's nice to have you back.
Hey, thank you. I had to shift around just a little because we had some wind and the sun.
Yes, the wind's picking up there. She's in Jacksonville, right? You're in Jacksonville now? Yeah, Jacksonville, Florida. We have with us elite guest, Jenni Raney Edwards, and she's written the book, Bumping Down the Highways. She's really living that RV life. And so we want to thank you for taking the time out to being on the show today.
Thank you. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So the first part of the show, we talked a little bit about your journey, what got you into doing the RV life and getting out of the rut of working every day and just really kind of enjoying your life now, but living new experiences. So I wanted to ask you, if someone wanted to, now that we're, for me anyhow, winding down, getting into my senior years, thinking about maybe doing the RV life, is it, would you say, economical to do it, or is it more expensive? What is it? I mean, I know you have to get the vehicle, you'd have to do that kind of thing, but just living every day, day to day, is it expensive to do that type of lifestyle?
So sometimes people will hire me as a consultant to help them live the life or figure out how to live the life. So usually I tell them RVing is not for everyone. I absolutely love it. But the best way to see if it's for you is rent an RV. More and more companies rent RVs. You go pick it up. I tell them rent that RV. Stay close to home. Stay in an RV park that's close by, but you have to commit for 30 days. You will not go back to your house for anything. So you load that RV with everything that you think you might need, and then some. And then you can get rid of things, but it'll help you see, can you really live this life? So you start there. Before you spend a lot of money on an RV and decide that, yeah, this wasn't for me. And then I tell people, if you're sure you want to live this lifestyle, sell everything, get rid of it all. I tell people how to downsize, get rid of everything. Take the money and turn it into your new home. You're buying a new home. You're buying an RV. So that expense for buying the vehicle, buying the RV, can be tiny or it can be astronomical. There are RVs, you can buy a used RV that's in great shape and find one on some marketplace for a couple of $1,000s that you pull behind a vehicle, all the way up to the Prevost and the big fancy blingy luxury RVs that you pay millions of dollars for. So the vehicle is choice of what you spend to do that. And then the living expenses, way less. So an average, if you were going to stay for a month in a place, you're going to stay monthly. Averages around the country are about $500 or $600 a month if you pay for a month at a time. You can also find places where you can park your RV for a year or come in and out of there. You just pay for the site for a year. And if you pay for that all at once, it's like $2,500 for an entire year to keep that space. Nightly rates range anywhere from $20 a night to several hundred, depending on the luxury location you are in. But overall, I would say, even if you looked at the $500 or $600 a month to stay in an RV park for an entire month, that includes, that's your rent, that's your electric, that's your water, that's your sewer, that's your cable, that's your internet, that's your everything. So you save money right there. Then when you travel, you spend money on fuel. So you have to have a budget and decide, how much money do I have to go on the road and travel? And so sometimes when I'm traveling and I know I'm going to go from point A to point Z, my first 2 nights traveling, I might sleep in a rest area. I might stay at a Cracker Barrel parking lot, which they're absolutely amazing and they love RVers. I always let them know I'm there, and I always eat inside just so I can support them because they support me. But that saves. And then on day 3, I'll be in an RV park for 3 to 5 days or sometimes longer. To save money in that way. The next thing that you save money on, people don't even think about. So when you live in a big house and you go to whatever that store is, the mall or that household goods store or a big box store, you go in and you go to buy a thing and you walk out with many more things. So when you live in an RV, you can't do that. You don't have room. When I go shopping, if I see something that I like and think, oh, that's way cool, I have to already know what is coming out of my RV when I get home so that this new thing will replace it with. So you end up spending way less money on stuff. First of all, you don't have room for a lot of stuff. It's a pretty simple lifestyle. There aren't a lot of tchotchkes. You have to think about dishes and what you have. So then if I need something, like the other day, I had a pair of jeans that the knees just ripped out of them because I washed them too many times. Well, I only own 2 pairs of jeans now, and I had to replace them. So I had to go in search of another pair of jeans. Flip-flops, I love flip-flops, but I can't have 200 pairs of flip-flops like I used to. So I spend way less money. You're constantly eating at home. I grill out, I eat healthier, and when you eat at home, it costs less than eating out somewhere. So overall, I would say for the retiree, for the empty nester, and for the single woman or the family, you spend way less money, which means you work less and you get to see more and spend more time with the people you enjoy.
Yeah, it just sounds wonderful. It truly does. And we think about it as like a smaller environment, but truly, I mean, these RVs now, they have everything in them. They're very comfortable. They're gorgeous. So, those of you that never haven't been in one in a long time, go to one of the RV shows and you'll be surprised to see.
Oh, absolutely. I have everything. I have a shower that I can move around in with sliding glass doors. I have an oven. I have a stovetop. Sure, they're smaller, but I have that. I have a refrigerator. I have a freezer. I have a bedroom, a separate bedroom with a door that closes. I have a table and seating to eat at. Plus, I have a bunk that's an 8'6" long bunk that's width of probably a queen size bed, but longer. So it's larger than a queen size bed for guests that want to stay. I've got it all. I've got everything that you could imagine having. I have my outside space that I turn into a front porch. So I really have everything. Some of these RVs have full size refrigerators. I have 2 air conditioner units. I have a fireplace. It's an electric fireplace that puts out heat, but I have a fireplace, and I have big screen TV and a TV in my bedroom. It's got everything just on a smaller scale than anyone could imagine.
Now, do you have a washer and dryer in your unit?
So in the Class C, I do not have a washer and dryer. In the Class A, I did. Mm-hmm. I will tell you, some people love those. It was good in a pinch, but they're very tiny. They're single units that wash and dry, so it takes a really long time to wash and dry a load of clothes, and you can't put much in there. So I always had to find a laundry facility where I could wash sheets and towels anyway. And I tend to like the laundry facilities in RV parks. Most of them are clean. They're really nice. They have big units. The one here I washed the other day, and so it costs $3 a load. That was $2 to wash and $1 to dry, but I could dry some of those things together. So and then I did it all in 1 hour, and I got to visit and talk with other people from the park. So it's just a socializing place.
Yeah. So it's really truly a wonderful lifestyle. So let's go back a little bit now to your book and tell us a little bit about the breakdown of the book when you were writing the book, and why would we want to buy a book like yours?
So when I decided to write the book, it only took me 2 weeks because I journal every day. I write the stories of what I saw, what I did, where I was. And I also run with a camera on my dash, so I have that to go back and look at. And it truly is the story of walking away. And why would you read the book? It's the stories of everything. It's the stories from the time I left to what encouraged me to keep going, and all of the scary things that happen. People tell me that when they read the book, they feel like they're right there with me. And they tell me that when they're reading the story, like the one where I was really certain that was the day I was going to die because I was flying down a mountain, it was so descriptive of what I saw and what I felt that they said they felt like they were right there with me, and they didn't want to put the book down because they wanted to know if I was okay, that they totally forgot they are not even halfway through the book, and that obviously she must be okay. And I think that's the biggest reason. It's, everybody wants to see how other people live lifestyles. And so it's a glimpse into the RV lifestyle. And then there are people, like you said earlier, who would love adventure and tell me I'm living the life they dream. Well, if you've always dreamed of adventure, if you've always dreamed of climbing in an RV and just riding away and wondered what it was like, then this is your chance to climb aboard and go with me.
Yes, I totally get that. I totally understand that. And I think the book is really cool because it does take you on the journey, but it also embraces a life that you had in the past and the the strength that you had to walk away from that and embark on something that you've dreamt of doing. And we all struggle with that. We all struggle from moving from one place to another when we really know that's where we need to be. And so the courage that you had to be able to move forward in your life and do this type of living, and embracing the life that you're in now and embracing everything around you is definitely a journey I think we need to read about, and we need to understand, because we're all going to be there, and so I think it's very touching, it's very moving, and so I would recommend her book, Bumping Down the Highways, for sure. I think I have it here. I think I have it.
People ask me all the time, aren't you afraid? And I tell them, there it is. Mm-hmm. That was my big RV, the one that I just traded in, Bumping Down Highways. Yeah. So people ask me all the time, aren't you afraid? And I tell them that I'm afraid every day I try something new. I'm afraid every time something is different. I am petrified of going to Alaska because I have to go to a country where the laws are different and I know no one to get through Canada to get to Alaska. But what I learned is that courage is not the lack of fear. It's doing the things you're afraid of in spite of the fear, because the end goal is way more important than the fear itself. It's just stepping out and doing the things you're afraid of. Just taking that leap of faith. Faith and courage is how I get everywhere. It's how I do everything. And I have no regrets. I am not sorry that I walked away. I changed the way I live, and that's absolutely love it.
Oh, I know we're getting a storm. Do you need to bring that down?
Yeah. Did you see it come?
Go ahead and bring it down.
Yeah. Hang on, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Right?
See, everyone, there's like storm that's brewing out here in Jacksonville. So she's when you have the awnings out, do you need to take your awning in?
Absolutely. So I've never seen it happen. I've never seen that happen. You guys can
see her awning going in. See how it goes in? See, we're watching it.
Button.
So see how the awning goes in. Yeah, just the wind grabs it, and so we want to make sure that doesn't happen.
Right, and so it's
You all can see her logo. Can you see her logo there, which is the flamingo? So you guys ever see that when you're driving down the street? You know that it's Jenni. See it? Yeah, I love that. I think that's great.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm back, and we're here until it rains.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll be wrapping up the show here in just a couple minutes, so hopefully it'll be okay with us. But again, I hope you guys will support her and buy the book, Bumping Down the Highways. But most of all, support her by connecting on social media, connect with her on her website. Really encourage, and I'd like to encourage those that you're supporting along the way, that they maybe give you something back to because you're letting us be aware that the RV parks are there. There's certain places to go see that might be fun. So I hope that they will support you along the way. I hope that will grow into a little bit of a business for you, so that you can keep on inspiring us in your adventures.
Yeah. Thank you. And a lot of the RV parks do what they do, because if I'm here, they will offer space for me if I will do a book signing at their RV park when I'm here. I'm doing one of those at Flamingo Lake RV Resort in Jacksonville this Saturday. So that'll be fun. And that's already people that help me. The businesses more and more are starting to help me.
Yeah, that's great. So you guys, if you're in Jacksonville today or this weekend, make sure if you're listening to this right away, make sure that you maybe go down and get one of her books, and have her sign it. That would be awesome. So let's put up your website and information again. It's right here. Jenni, Jenni, bumpingdownhighways.com. And that's how you would send her an email. And then also her website is www.bumpingdownhighways.com. And so definitely connect. You're brilliant. And, I just admire you so much for stepping out and doing what you love, your passion, and embracing people along the way. So it's pretty awesome. And you have time to go now.
I'm going to throw one thing out there real quick. Social media is all because Jenni Raney Edwards got too many friends and Facebook said no more. So on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn is Jenni, but Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, those are all under Bumping Down Highways. And I'm going to run.
Okay, we'll let you run. All right, we're going to let you go. It's absolutely wonderful having you on the show. Thank you so much. You are one of our elites, so your information's right on our website. So we'll make sure everybody has that. So be safe. Go ahead and be safe.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
All right, bye. Wow, what a great show. Jenni is totally awesome, and we appreciate everything that she's doing. Jenni, go ahead and take some cover now. That's wonderful. Well,
Okay,
I tell you what, I want to thank you guys for listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are listening to the Author's Corner, Meet the Author. Our wonderful, wonderful elite guest, Jenni, was on with us. Jenni Raney Edwards. She did the wonderful book, Bumping Down the Highways. If you guys want to reach her on social media, she does that. She's actually going inside her motorhome. Let's bring her back up so you guys can see it here. So she's inside her motorhome now. Look at that. Hey.
Hey. And of course, I've got my flamingos back there.
Yeah.
Back there. Yeah.
That's right. Well, you're a Florida girl for sure. That's great.
And Emmy
That's
is
great.
dying to
Oh, and so you get to bring your pet with you too, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Totally awesome.
Everywhere with me.
It is wonderful. Well, thank you so much again for being on the show. I appreciate it. I have to run, but I love you, and we're going to be following you on social media, making sure. And are we going to get another book? Or are you planning on writing another one?
So I will write another book, but I want to finish the last 5 states to do that.
Okay.
So I have something that not many people know yet, but I believe that I will be the first woman to have driven an RV through all 50 states. I have an application in with Guinness, and I'm also working on a TV show pitch. So there's a lot to come. I don't know what's next.
Yes, I can imagine this being definitely on. You know what? I think maybe the HGTV should pick you up and do a little show. So we'll throw that out there, that HGTV should pick you up and do a show on running down the highways and embracing families along the way and people along the way. I think it'll be great. Absolutely great.
There's a video I think that you put up on your website that says Home Sweet Highway on it. Mm-hmm. That was a song written by Michael Carter for the show. It's the sizzle reel for the show. So if you get a minute, go check out that video. It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
definitely. We put that right up on our site, so you guys can get that. So Jenni, if those of you that don't know, we'll say real quick, she is one of our elite guests. She's one of our elite guests, and her information is all on our website, and it will stay on our website. So this show will be on here. All of her contact information, her social media, you just click and go into it. The video that she's talking about is there for you guys to watch. And then anything else, if she sends us along the way as she's traveling, we'll post it up and make sure you guys are aware of it. And we'll try to connect with her throughout. And she's also on our directory. So she's going to be sharing things on the directory too. So it's going to be a lot of fun being able to connect with you over the time. And I'm praying for the TV. I think it would be a great show, and I would watch it for sure. So it'd be great.
You.
All right. Well, thank you so much, sweetheart. And we want to appreciate you and shout out and make sure that, anytime in the future you connect with us, we want to support you any way possible. Okay.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, guys, you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is GoingSoloMedia.com. I am CC Schatz, your host, and I'll see you back here same time, same place. Bye for now.